Good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday today, March 14th, 2023. Spooner Health CEO and friend of the show, Mike Schafer, is joining us this morning. And yeah, we're a little bit late. That's for Fitzy. And holy cow, Fitzy, we have a jam-packed show. I'm not sure we're even going to be able to get through all of it. We're going to have to gloss over a few things. But first, for Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden. Of course, you're watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With nearly 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business has provided quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. Give Brian a call today. The number's right there on the screen, 715-520-2271. We are live streaming this week's show on our DrydenWire Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. So however you may be watching, welcome, and thank you for joining us. Fitzy, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm good.
Professional Exteriors is on vacation this week. He's put all kinds of pictures on Facebook. I think he's back today because he wanted to have lunch and I couldn't do it last week, and then he was on vacation. So now Brian will have to get back to work.
Hey, I heard he's been, so I found out that he now lives in Spooner, not far from me, I guess, and he goes to the gym at Matt's gym, I think, every morning at 6 o'clock. And he asked me to go with, and it's...
You're going to
Sure.
go with?
Yeah, I'll try to do that.
You're awake at 6.
That's just it. I'm awake, but yeah, I don't think so. All right. So, and good morning, Heather. Yeah, again, sorry we're a little bit late. Fitzy was having something. Fitzy, holy cow. Is that a tie?
It is. I'm dressed up today. Mike Schafer's on the show. We got to have it for the show. He's an important guy.
You suck up to him so badly.
I missed the dress code memo.
That's right. He's Mr. Spooner. I don't know.
All right, so we always like to start the show with what was going on, either something positive in your life, or lately we've just been doing, what'd you do this last weekend? Mike, we'll start with you. What'd you do this last weekend?
Same thing most everyone did, plowed and shoveled snow.
Yeah, what's up with that?
But other than that, we have the Wisconsin Lumberjack hockey team. I know Fitzy always talks about his hockey on weekends. We actually billet 2 of the players that live with us. My daughter and son work for the team. My wife is our volunteer photographer, and they had 2 home games last weekend, playing some great hockey, swept a team they're probably going to see first round of the playoffs. So those of you out there watching, there's a home game tomorrow night for the Lumberjacks here, and then there'll be some playoffs. It's great entertainment and great hockey.
Nice. Love that stuff. See, yes, and this Professional Exteriors. This was that was from them as well. So I'm just rocking. I had the blue one on before, but they have pink ones for ladies. But see, I don't see gender, and I don't assign that colors to gender. You see that, Mike? You see what I did there?
I see that.
I'm above that, so I'm wearing the feet. Well, he doesn't call it that, but you know.
Hey, let me and Mike talk now.
Okay. Yeah. Well, speaking of hockey, Fitzy, what'd you do this last weekend? Let me guess.
Hockey. I just want to thank Mike for billeting because Jace is actually home now. He's done at the Madison Capitals. They ended. They won last weekend, obviously, or the weekend before, and they got swept this weekend. So, which they knew going in, they were the underdog again, and it's just tough to win. But billet families are so important to these semi-professional, who I call them semi-professional hockey teams, because without billet families, these kids don't have places to go. And it's just nice to have billet families. Jace had an unbelievable billet family. And, you know, some of these kids are just 18, and Jace wasn't even 18 till yesterday. So happy birthday, Jace.
Happy birthday, Jace.
Yeah. So billet families are so important. So I appreciate
where did that term come from? Am I billet?
Yeah,
I'm sure it's a French-Canadian term.
Oh, if it's hockey, yeah, right.
It means that Mike lets him stay in his house and feeds him.
Right. I'm just wondering where that came from. I've never heard of it.
We hosted players. It's about 10 years now we've been doing it. I guess what I get out of it, actually, we get some great friendships of families, parents of these kids. The first kid we had living still plays in the Southern Professional Hockey League, so we get to follow him. The other thing I get out of it reminded me of my daughter when I once suggested maybe that now that we're empty nesters, we should not billet. She said, Dad, if you don't have billets, Mom's probably not cooking home-cooked meals. And that's totally right there, besides the rest of the hockey I enjoy.
Right.
So what'd you do this weekend, Ben?
Nothing. That's
Awesome.
it. There you go. Let's move on.
Snow too?
No, see, the more I talk, the less you guys can talk, and that's apparently where we want to go with the show. Any shout outs from either of you? Mike, I probably should have let you know after our, how was your weekend? Any announcements or shout outs that you want to do? I know we have some things I want to get to. I put up a post this morning. It was a press release from Spooner Health. I want to talk to you about that. And Fitzy, we have a couple things to get through regarding some press releases or some stories that we have done regarding Barron County. But any shout outs or announcements, Mike?
I would like to do a shout out, and it's one you do quite often, Ben. I want to give a shout out to law enforcement.
Amen.
We had a situation here a couple weekends ago that put our facility on lockdown. The response, and it turned out to be a false alarm, which is great. We're glad. But the response we got from both city police and the sheriff's department was phenomenal. Captain Mike from the I won't attempt his last name from the
Cronenberg. Yeah, he's awesome.
He was in house when I got here. Warren Tuttle was blocking one of the entrances. There was another sheriff's deputy, I'm not sure who, at another entrance to our parking lot. It was just for not just me but the staff that was here to see the quick response we got was just they deserve a shout out. And we see law enforcement here a lot. With some of the situations we deal with in our ER and they always are here as quick as they can get here, very professional. We're just very lucky to have law enforcement officers we have in Washburn County and City of Spooner.
Yeah, that's great. Love it. And by the way, yeah, you just named two of the people that I hold in extremely high regard in law enforcement in Washburn County, and that's Spooner's Mikey and, of course, Tuttle. Those two guys are legit. Like, no kidding. And all of them are. I'm just saying I happen to know those two and hold them in high regards. Very nice. So now Fitzy sucks up to you. You suck up to him in law enforcement. Jeepers. I see where this show's going. Fitzy, any shout outs? Let me guess. Spooner Health.
Yeah, I just want to thank nurses. No. Billet families. I mean, I gave a shout out to the Billet families that make these teams run, who bring money to Spooner, to bring money to Northwest Wisconsin, to take care of these kids whose parents send them away. Some are 19, some are 20 years old, and it's not as big a deal, but it was a big deal for me as I'm a 17-year-old shooting a kid away to 3.5 hours away to Madison, and this unknown. And he grew up a lot, he learned a lot, and he has got a relationship with his family forever, and I think they're special.
Well, you can help me with the shout out that I had scheduled for today, and it was yesterday, so it's in your neck of the woods in Barron. Our support staff spotlight, which we do every Monday. It was basically 21 things about me. And this was, I'm hearing alarms going off. Rochelle Winger. She is, deputy clerk, I think, at the Barron County Clerk of Court's office. Do you know her? So first, I just want to say that was really interesting. Apparently, so this was really cool to learn, they have a Christmas tree, but they never take it down. Correct. I didn't know that until I was reading her 21 things, and it was, I guess, it is decorated for all the different holidays, like Valentine's, so I'm like, why take it down, which is totally brilliant. Anyway, help me out with the shout out. Do you know Rochelle? And if so, hopefully it's positive. What are your thoughts of her?
Yes, the ladies upstairs, and Rochelle is part of that group, treat us very well down here. They help us. They're big law enforcement supporters. And they always thank us, and on those days they get together and thank us. And I know our cops have done some things for them upstairs. And so it's a great team effort. It's all in one building. We all work together. And they have a tree up that's year round, and I haven't read your 21 things yet, but she's awesome. And she is, and she works, they all work hard up there to make our courts run smooth. So
awesome.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, so we do have a couple of articles that I think I mentioned that last week, that I said that I was going to have two articles that I want to talk about this week. And I know Mike is on, so we have a lot to get to with Mike. But Mike, please feel free to kind of chime in and ask any questions regarding this. But you know what we should probably do right now, though?
What? Yes.
Yes.
Satisfaction surveys and in conversations with patients, they appreciate the fact that staff got to know them. Staff really took their preferences into account, and they just feel grateful that they are being cared for as a person.
To learn more about our services, visit spoonerhealth.com.
There you go, Mike.
There I am.
I heard tell that you did not want to be a part of your own commercial for Spooner Health. That's what I was told.
I think there's enough other good stuff we have, but Michelle Martin, our new PR director, was
awesome.
Very persuasive.
Yeah, she's that way, I tell you. I think she got that from being at Washburn County Tourism. She's good, I tell you. Oh, boy. Yeah, but she's phenomenal. All right, so let's get to a couple of these things, and then I want to talk to Mike. Obviously, honestly, is COVID like still a thing? Talk about that. Plus, there was an information that came out. You guys just got an award about a press, is it Gainey human experience? What? We just put it out. I literally haven't even read it yet. I just copy pasted the press release, put it out this morning, so I can't wait to hear about it.
Read it.
I just put it up like 10 minutes before we went live. But first, Fitzy, I did a couple of articles. One was the headline. I don't know if you had a chance to read these yet. Yep. The headline was FBI and DOJ assists Barron County Sheriff's Office with child pornography investigation. Is there anything that you wanted to comment about that?
No, except that's the new crime out there is this child porn cases, and we're actively working those on a daily basis. I think we're at 7 for the year already. This year, they range from our high school kids to people like the article you put up there, the 23-year-old from Turtle Lake. And, it's just they're very time consuming. They involve a lot of agencies, as you put in the headline. And we reach out for a lot of help. DCI does a lot of that. The FBI had some role in this one. I don't know exactly what their role is, unless the tip came from them, maybe. But they're very complicated, time-consuming cases. But there's something that we are working very hard on. In fact, we have some people at some training right now learning more about how to solve these crimes and get to them a little quicker. And we get all these tips from a national database. So, and so then we have to figure out what IP addresses and what devices, and everybody's got mobile devices. So it becomes a lot more complicated in a house. So a lot of work goes into these, and, I'm glad we're catching them.
Yeah, that sounds important. I mean, holy cow. And we have been. I think we've talked about that. It used to be I was doing more stories like a third or fourth offense OWI. Right. Now it just seems like when I'm looking through, complaints to request and to do stories on, in the last 6 months, maybe a year, I'd have to go back and double check, but it's about that amount of time. We've probably done more stories regarding child pornography in the last year than we did in the previous 6.5 years. Mm-hmm. And it's not because we've all of a sudden decided to focus on it. These things, which is good news, by the way. That means we are getting the alleged bad guys. That's a good thing.
It stems from what we believe. And again, no factual data behind this. It stems from my belief as people working from home. If I work at Spooner Health or I work at the Barron County Sheriff's Department, my computers are monitored. I have people coming in and out of my office. If I go from home, I can have my work computer. I can have my laptop. I can be doing whatever I want on my laptop, even while I'm at work. Even if I have a family or I live at home with my mom or whatever the answer is, they're gone during the day at work and I'm home alone. I can do some of this stuff. Some of these people are married. I don't know all the answers to the questions, but we see that trend as maybe being out there. Again, no data to do that. That's just some cops thinking out loud.
Mike, now this is not your arena, not your field, which everything Fitzy talks about is also not mine. Do you have any just random thoughts about if there is an actual uptick in this stuff as to why?
I just know what I read and what I see. I think Fitzy makes a good point. When you're working from home, you're not being monitored. My random thought is I'm glad my kids are the age they are and not growing up in this age. They came kind of towards the end of the computer, internet, when it started getting big. There's so much out there now as a parent to worry about that we didn't even worry about 20 years ago. And I think I hear hear Fitzy talk about just how much labor intensive it is. I hope you get them all. I hope you get all these people that are doing child pornography, because it's just a scary world we live in right now.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the next one. And that is, actually, I just put it up this morning, like at 6 o'clock this morning. And the headline was felony charges proceed against teen charged with reckless homicide from fatal crash. This all stemmed from originally from a press release from you. I think this was It was last year, October. Yeah, there you go. October of last year. And now there was a booking photo available, and we just wanted to update. We had the criminal complaint, so we did a follow-up story on that. That was the unfortunate situation where the teen was driving into, I think it was a 14 or 15-year-old girl, also died. I don't recall whatever the status. I believe the third person in there, another female, I believe also a teen, did survive, but with injuries. So we put that story up this morning. I don't know if you had a chance to read it because we literally just, it was 6 o'clock this morning is when it went out.
I know that case by heart. That was a tragedy in our county, and that is the charges stem from that after investigations. Some people wonder why these investigations take so long. It's really not on the local end. It's on the receiving end of the blood or the state agency, the crime lab monitoring or getting us the results of these blood tests. Some are taking 6 to 9 months to get these results back, and so some of these charges have to wait till the results of these blood come back, whether it's alcohol, drugs, whatever's in it. Not in this case, I'm talking generalization of these cases. So, so that's why it takes longer to get some of these results back. I wish it was quicker. It's not. That's the Attorney General's issue. He needs to work on that, and we're pushing him to do that. And we just need to do better. An OWI can take 9 months to a year. And it's not on our local DA's office to do that. It's because the crime lab results aren't coming back, so we can charge it.
I've heard it's getting longer. It used to be like 6 to 9 months, which is already egregious. But now it's more like you're lucky if you get it back within a year.
And this one was a little shorter because of the deaths. It does jump up there. If there was just injuries, this probably wouldn't be charged yet because it wouldn't have came back. So death jumps up to the front part of the line. And on some of these more serious cases, it jumps up. So
yeah, and I'm sorry, that was a comment from Amanda. Good morning, Amanda. From a what we're talking about before, Mike. I'm sure there's no tie in here, but you know, Spooner Health, you gotta send things away, or do you? Do you have to? You know, I go on and get my blood test. Is it in house? Do you run into any issues? And I'm sure if you do, they're probably not the same labs that like Fitzy is sending things to. Is there any like hold up on blood stuff for you guys, or is it completely different and you just do everything in house?
Well, there are a lot of things we do have to send out to larger labs, but it's typically 1 to 2 day turnaround time. We don't run into.
Why can't we just do that? Just go through them, Fitzy? Just send it to Mike. They'll get it done in like 2 days.
Because Mike doesn't want his people coming to testify. Because these people
is that it? What?
But to me, it's a big difference between private entity and government. I mean, we're dealing with other hospitals, other large labs, private entities that they have to perform a service, or we take our business elsewhere. Fitzy doesn't have that choice. He has one place that he can send his sample.
Interesting.
Who knows how many of them are still working from home? You know, you just never know.
There's a ding at the state of Wisconsin there.
A surveyor walked in my door next week.
Yeah. Holy yeah. So anything else that you want to add? It's an ongoing investigation. It's a very sensitive thing. So I'm assuming this is one of those, let's just wait on this one until everything is concluded. And it could be a while, but anything else you wanted to add to that?
The court will take this one. Our investigation is wrapped up. It's all in the court's hands now. And you know, we'll see what happens on this.
Yeah. Pete Johnson, and I don't know if you heard me last week, Pete, you're coming on the show either next week or the following week, whichever one you want to come on. Pete Johnson, we also want hospitals seen as the bad guys for test. So, okay. Right. See, now we're getting down to it. That's why I like doing these shows, because it's live. And we can't edit this stuff. I didn't realize that. Is that an actual thing, just seriously? Is part of the reason, which I didn't know that was even a possibility for law enforcement to go through someone like a Spooner Health, and maybe it isn't. But I think is that part of the reason, like the testifying, and it's like, holy cow, we don't have this kind of time.
And we occasionally have had like lab techs that are have to go to court to testify on how the blood withdrawal was done for an OWI. It doesn't happen often, but I would guess that, you know, most private labs aren't equipped to deal with what they need to deal with at the state level.
Mm.
Yeah, and this is So it's when you get to these, like this lab tech on this homicide case, it might be if this one goes to trial, if it does, it might be a week-long trial, and Mike doesn't want to lose his employee for a day or a day and a half to testify on something like that. And so it just becomes complicated, and the expertise that's needed it's kind of like why we use DCI on these child porn cases, because they are experts in that. They have to testify to how the computer was downloaded, how the information was obtained. I don't exactly know what they testify to, but it's the technology background of this. I'm not saying my staff couldn't do it. I'm sure they could, but they would be like, oh, we can't draw blood today because that person's testifying and he backfills a lot. They do a lot of blood draws for us. Our local hospitals are wonderful when it comes to OWIs. We arrest a lot of people for OWI, and they all are blood draws, or a majority of them are blood draws. So.
All right. See, I learned something. That's awesome.
Yeah. There you go.
So, Mike, we put up your press release this morning, or Spooner Health's press release this morning, and the headline was Spooner Health receives 2022 press. How do you say it? Is it Gainey?
Press Gainey.
2022 Press Gainey Human Experience Guardian of Excellence Award. Say that again. 2022 Press Gainey Human Experience Guardian of Excellence Award. That is like the greatest name of an award I've ever heard in my life. You are Human Experience Guardian of Excellence. What does it mean?
Really, what we do an annual survey with our staff that measures their engagement. Things like satisfaction, how happy they are, how engaged they are as a workforce. We've used Press Gainey to do this now for about 14 years. And basically what it measures is just how satisfied and how engaged our employees are. And we're very fortunate. We started 14 years ago, we started on what we call our commitment to excellence, because we knew we had issues we had to deal with. And this year we hit 98th percentile in engagement. 99th is as high as.
What is engagement? What do you mean engagement?
Are our employees satisfied? Are they satisfied with their work conditions? Do they feel that the employees work well together? Different departments work well together? How do they feel about their supervisors? How do they feel about
98% was positive?
98 percentile, which means ranking all of the couple thousand health organizations that use them. There was only 1% of those that ranked higher than we did. Very few unfavorable answers to any questions. I guess to me, the big benefit here is you go in any business where you have a disengaged workforce, you feel it, the customer service, whatever. Well, when you walk in a hospital, you expect an engaged staff. And when you have an engaged staff, you get better care, plain and simple. You're treated differently. You have a staff that loves what they do, loves their patients, and we have that here.
And he's frozen.
And well, while we wait for him to
using there, I froze up.
Nope, now you're back. And we're back.
I was talking about patient satisfaction. An engaged workforce improves patient satisfaction, the quality of care, and patient outcomes. And that's really what we strive for. And it shows in our patient satisfaction on our inpatient measures, which is a survey Medicare requires all hospitals to use. 5 of the 8 domains were above the 90th percentile for patient satisfaction as well.
So this wasn't a Northwest Wisconsin ranking, or even Wisconsin. Is it? Well, you said 2,000. Is this nationwide?
Yeah, nationwide.
Holy
survey.
Cow. That's got to be pretty legit.
41,000 healthcare facilities. There's 41,000. I'm reading the article. There's 41,000 people he went against.
What?
98th percentile.
That's pretty. That's got to make you,
About 2 million employees, I believe, represented in this thing. So, yeah, we're very proud of it. But we don't do it to win awards. So it's nice to get awards. You know how much I love having my picture splashed out on DrydenWire. But,
as long as it's not a booking photo, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah, we do it for the patient experience, and so our patients get higher quality care and better outcomes when they're here.
I feel like I've heard that before somewhere.
In our patient satisfaction surveys and in conversations with patients, they appreciate the fact that staff got to know them. Staff really took their preferences into account, and they just feel grateful that they are being cared for as a person.
To learn more about our services, visit SpoonerHealth.com.
I'm charging you twice for that one.
Then you'll get my bill for being on today. So
okay.
That's right.
We'll just call it even. All right.
Anyway, as I said, we don't chase awards, but it's our staff. We have just a great staff and leadership team here. Awesome. And what did you tell patients? You come here, you're going to get great care.
Well, the reason, so I put it up like 10 minutes before we went live, and the reason I haven't read it yet, because I was trying to get the photo from it put in so it was ready.
Oh, gee.
So there's another photo of you. Now, who are these people? I mean, I know the person on the right. Who are the other ones?
In the center is Cindy Rouser. Cindy is our Director of Human Resources, very involved in what we do here. Cindy's been with us. I've been here almost 3 years. She's been with us over 30 years. And on the left is Clint Miller. Clint is our director, chief nursing officer. Clint has been with the organization probably 26 years, and he's a great success story. He started as a CNA in our nursing home, went through what was at the time WITC in their nursing program, and has worked his way up, got his bachelor's degree from Viterbo, and has been our chief nursing officer.
He's thinking how long? How long has he been our chief nursing officer?
No, he said it. I mean,
no, he's frozen. It's just funny.
That's awesome.
Mike, you're gonna have to Mike sign out and sign back in, will you? We tested this right before. While we're waiting for you, Fitzy, to come on.
See, that's why I'm glad.
Fashionably late.
Having people in that so long in those positions is what makes people great. I mean, I have a detective that's going to retire here in May, and there'll be a press release on this. But Mary Dexter's been here 45 and a half years, and she just announced her retirement. And having people in place that long is what makes you great. And Mike's right. You don't chase awards. You're honored to get them. But it's about the care that we give. I mean, we're in the same field. I mean, he cares about patients. We want to make sure their rights aren't violated and the people get the crime solved if we can solve their crime. I mean, it might be the smallest crime, but to them, it's their first crime. It might be they might have a cut finger, but it's their first time they've ever been to the hospital, and they need that care. It doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but nurses, cops have to do the exact same thing. They might think they're dying, and you know, that's what makes the difference. It's that important to have staff engaged, and he uses a great word, engaged, and engaged staff is the best.
By the way, I totally chase awards. I just never win any of them, so it's fruitless cause. I got one, like in 2016. I think we got it was like Washburn County Economic Development Corporations. I think that was their first year doing their like an award thing, and I think we got like Innovative Business of the Year or something, and that's it. Not anymore. But
Freedom Fest makes you feel good.
Oh, yeah. No, that does. We'll talk about that more later, too. COVID, it would be remiss not to bring up COVID with you on still a thing.
Yeah, still a thing. It's nice that it's not the lead story when I'm on here like it used to be. Yeah. I mean, the public health emergency is ending May 11th. President Biden said months ago that, we're out of the pandemic, but COVID's going to be with us, I think, for a long time. It's become endemic. It's going to continue on. It still affects us at the hospital. We see quite a few of our employees that test positive and are out with COVID, and that keeps them out of work typically longer than some of the other illnesses. But it's one of those things, just how we do business. We still have masking and things like that we're doing here. CDC guidelines we follow, happy when our patients comply without too much pushback. We do get a little, but it's something we're going to be dealing with for a long time. So
I waited quite a while before I got the shot, and I think it was a shot, and then quickly after, like within 6 weeks or 4 or 5 6, I had another something. I don't remember what these things are. And the last time I was looking at my little card, and it was like August of last year. I think that's called a booster. Am I like, I don't know, due? Is August, and how often do people, because when I was there, so I go to the doctor, and of course it's, well, you haven't had a tetanus shot, so I got a tetanus shot. Well, you haven't had a flu shot, so I had to get a flu shot. Then another one, like, what's the influenza? No, that's flu. There's another one. What is it? Pneumonia. Something for pneumonia, so I had to give those shots. I'm like, holy cow. I'm like, and you probably should get a COVID thing. So how often is it where people need to get boosters, and do they really need to anymore, or is it okay? You're fine.
The recommendation seems to be annual boosters now. Annual boosters. So,
and at Spooner Health, and they just give you a lot of shots because then they can charge you. And
that's just it. Like they totally were upselling me on everything. I was like, good Lord.
You really need one of these.
Essentia Health.
Oh, that's true. It was Essentia Health, and you need the undercoating as well.
I hadn't come to the hospital. I'd have been up there with big needles giving him these vaccinations.
All right, that's true. It was not Spooner Health. It was Essentia, which is, I always put those two together, which I know they're different, but
we work very closely together. We're side by side, but we are two separate organizations.
All right. The Spooner golf outing, are we doing that again? Is that again this year? Because Fitzy, ever since he, volunteered us to sponsor that.
Okay, we're in.
Yeah.
I believe it's Wednesday, August 2nd. I am a little concerned about you guys. I sat a few weeks ago and listened to you guys talk about getting your video golf games.
Oh, yeah. PGA Tour 2K23. I already beat the first season. It's great.
The Civic Center here in town now has golf simulators, so you can actually swing a golf club a month or two. It's going to be nice. Get to the golf course. I've seen you guys that are outing. You need to spend more time at the golf course and less time on your computers playing golf. Just a suggestion. So,
why do we keep having Mike come on? Well, I don't remember why we keep having him on.
What day is our golf outing? I got to put that on my calendar.
It's first Wednesday in August, I believe.
August 2nd, then.
2nd, yep.
Guess I won't be going to the sheriff meeting that day.
Blow it off.
That's right.
Japers. And when's July 1st? What day is that, as long as you have a calendar up? Because that's the Freedom Fest.
Wait, I got to put golf on my calendar first.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a riveting live show. We're watching Fitzy update his calendar.
July 1st is a Saturday.
Okay. Oh, yeah, duh. Saturday. Okay. So, all right.
It's all day Saturday. Spooner Music or Freedom Music Fest.
All right. And then I'm sure we'll be all down at the Shell Lake for the fireworks as well. So, man, we'll be hanging out quite a bit.
It'll be the 3rd. Shell Lake fireworks will be the Monday the 3rd because 4th of July is on a Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
So that'll be a long weekend. We'll have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We'll just party all weekend.
All weekend long. Already have our weather forecast from our weather expert, Dirk. Warm weather tomorrow, Thursday. I'm just looking for anything that says snow.
It's going to snow.
Could be.
Much? It's too early. Come on, Dirk. It's Tuesday. You should be able to tell us how much snow we're going to get on Friday. Let's get it together.
Well, also, I mean, is he talking about Barron or Spooner? Because, we don't care about Barron. Right, Mike? Just Washburn County. That's it. No,
it's going to snow again on Friday, which is St. Patrick's Day. So make a plan now.
Oh, right.
St. Patrick's is Friday. So
are you anticipating drunks? Lots of them, road-wise?
Well, it depends on the snow. I mean, St. Patrick's Day on a Friday it gives people a reason to go out, and there is some specials, and everybody likes their corned beef and cabbage, and they're all this green beer, and that's great. But have a plan. Have a designated driver. Right now it's Tuesday. Make your plans for Friday, for Saturday. We see a lot of our specials going Friday and Saturday. It'll depend on the roads are. You don't want to slide into the ditch after you've had a couple of beers and end up with an OWI just because you slid into the ditch with some snow. So have an exit strategy now is all we're asking.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
All right. So maybe we'll get to this next week, but I just want to quickly throw this up. It's going to be hard for people to read. But I did look up, we were talking about the election in the last couple of weeks regarding, there's those questions on the ballot. So I found exactly what they are. On April 4th, this is the first one. So I didn't know about this one. The first one is that so you answer yes or no when you go to vote April 4th. And this one is to amend the Constitution to allow the court to impose an accused person being released before conviction conditions that are designed to protect the community from serious harm.
Yes,
maybe I did know about it, but I forgot about that. Right. So just real quickly, because you and I can get into this a lot more, Fitzy, in next week, the week after that, leading up to the election. But with Mike on, it's just kind of nice to get someone else's perspective on things, especially that isn't in law enforcement. So your first thoughts, Fitzy, do you like the idea of judges being able to consider the community in terms of any potential harm that comes to the community when it comes to what is it? Comes to the
seriousness of the crime, the condition.
Okay, yeah. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, if I'm selling meth to a kid and I've made it to court every time, right now, today, the judge can't take that crime into consideration. He just takes it if he's gone to court. After April 4th, if we pass this and the change in the Constitution, the judges now can take that into consideration, saying, hey, Your Honor, he's been selling drugs to elementary kids on Main Street in Spooner. Can we take that into account? He's a danger to the community, and then the judge can say, you know what? Yeah, that's dangerous. I don't want people selling drugs to my kids on the streets, and he can take that into account. It doesn't mean he has to. It means he can take it into account. We need to give the judge another tool in their tool belt.
Okay, and your first reaction or thoughts, Mike, as just a citizen, this has nothing to do with Spooner Health, or maybe it does. I don't think so. How that impact you guys?
Yeah, to me, it's common sense. I mean, I agree with Fitzy. I'm maybe a little more radical than Fitzy. They say they can take it into account. They should take it into account.
I agree. I agree with you on that one, Mike. And the second one is the cash bail aspect of it. It would amend the Constitution to allow the court to impose cash bail on a person accused of a violent crime. I think that's a key there. They should almost kind of underline that. Accused of a violent crime based on the totality of the circumstances, including the accused's previous convictions for a violent crime, the probability that the accused will fail to appear, the need to protect the community from a serious harm and prevent witness intimidation. So this one has to deal with the cash bail, which that's where I was a little confused. I was reading them both. I'm like, they kind of seem like the same thing, but one of them had to do specifically with the cash bail part. I mean, I don't know anyone's going to vote yes for one and no for the other. Like, correct. Just put it all into one, but whatever. So this same thing, but now it's regarding cash bail. I'm assuming you were both yay.
Same idea. Yes.
Agreed.
And I sit and listen to Fitzy's rationale when I watch your show, and I can't imagine how frustrating it must be to be law enforcement doing your job and seeing people just put back on the streets when they have conviction records and everything else that the judge can't even consider.
Yeah.
Yep. Waukesha Parade is why we're talking about this. Exactly why we're talking about this.
Well, not really. No, we're talking about this because the Republicans wanted to make sure they had a higher Republican turnout in the Wisconsin Supreme Court race, so they needed something on the ballot. And the fact you guys are laughing is crazy because that is 100% the reason that this is on the ballot. Now, they made a huge mistake because the RNC has like no money. So they got it on the ballot, and then they can't promote it. What are the Republicans doing right now? Seriously. But it is right. It started with the Waukesha. That was kind of the justification behind it. And
it's the national story that got the legs moving on this, and it got it on the agenda and on the radar. It's always been on there. We've been pushing it from a law enforcement standpoint, but no one would listen to us because they don't want it to, disappropriate different people being in jail, whether it's race or money or the economics of
But like Mike said, common sense.
Yeah. And all it does is let the judge consider it. Doesn't mean the judge has to do it. I agree with Mike. They should take it into account, but it'll give judges more freedom. I think it won't slow down crime in the beginning. In the long run, I think it will reduce crime because people won't want to be in jail. And right now, you can commit a crime and get out of jail the next day pretty easily.
Pretty easily. Yeah.
Well, I would just add to that, when you talk about it's on the ballot because the Republicans wanted it. I don't view either of those two questions as a partisan issue. I mean, from what I read is I don't care your law enforcement, whether they're Republicans, Democrats, whatever, they are strongly behind this. So I just hope people don't look at that as a partisan issue, but more the common sense.
No, it's not a partisan, but, things happen for a reason.
Just partisan reasons is what you're saying. So.
Yeah. And that's not like I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything. I'm just saying that's how this stuff works. Pay attention, people. All right, last thing, because Mike, you won't be on. I mean, hopefully not before April 4th already. It'd be like in a couple of weeks. And we're going to have Pete Johnson on in a couple of weeks, so we can't have you on. If the Supreme, who do you have winning? Judge Janet or Justice Dan Kelly?
Sadly, the outside money in this race is just ridiculous. The stuff that's pouring in. I've started occasionally to see the Judge Janet commercials up here. When I was in Madison, I was shocked at the commercials, quite honestly. I think Dan Kelly's got a huge hill to climb in trying to get elected, and I think money is going to buy the election for Judge Janet.
Yeah. If you asked me a week ago or before, I would say it's a slam dunk for Judge Janet. But in the last week, some things have happened. It isn't. There's some things have happened, and with some more money now coming in for Justice Kelly, it may get a little bit closer. But as of right now, I would say Judge Janet, but not a landslide like I thought a week ago. It'd be relatively close. But as of now, but it'll be interesting to see where Fitz and I are going to have our election predictions sure to go wrong. The day of the election, we always do that on election day for our show.
In this state, in this country, we're dangerously close to losing the checks and balances of our three-tier government. It's just, when I see some of those ads, I just remember the day where people waited until the cases came forth before saying how they're going to rule.
Yeah, that is a little odd.
And there's too much money in politics in today's world. That's got to come to an end. I mean, we waste so much money. We could do so much more with that money. We've said it on this show. All three of us have said it. There was just so much money. If they give us a half of what they spent in law enforcement,
I'll take $1 million. That's it.
Yeah.
The Spooner Health, DrydenWire, and Barron County Sheriff's Office all gets $1 million. That's that's nothing. They're going to spend like 40 million, 30 or 40 million on it by the time it's all said and done.
On the Supreme Court justice race in Wisconsin. I mean, just think of the national level what's spent. It's stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah. All right, last prediction. We talked about it last week, but now nothing has still happened. Aaron Rodgers, Mike, Aaron Rodgers.
Who
Jets,
cares?
Retires, or
Who
Packers?
Cares?
That's not an option. I gave you 3 options. That's not one of them.
About this situation as a Viking fan, I don't have a lot to usually smile and cheer about. I can sit back and just watch this one and chuckle. But
okay, fine. Who's going to have a better record this year, the Minnesota Vikings or the Chicago Bears?
Oh, Minnesota Vikings.
Would you give me 5-1 odds and put $50 on it?
Heck no.
Hey, speaking of odds. Yeah. We can't go to the casino and bet. The machines aren't taking bets for the final NCAA tournament. I don't know why. I haven't figured that out yet. So we can still go there and watch the games. We just can't bet.
Seriously, somebody take my money. I'm trying to bet, and I'm going to probably lose. Take it, will you?
Then I have to give you Bears credit. I think they made a heck of a trade.
They really did. That was pretty smart.
Number one.
Are they going to trade again? That's the question. Will they?
No, they
again?
won't. No, they won't. They'll stay where they are right now. They got 2 new linebackers yesterday and a defensive end.
They're going to trade again.
No, linebacker, defensive end, and offensive. No, you think so?
I think so.
Give me 3-1 odds and put $20 on that one.
No.
Dang it!
Nobody wants odds. I didn't tell me. Real fans don't need odds, Ben.
That's right. There you go. Thanks,
but if it's like likely to happen, the other person needs a reason to bet. So if it's
you're saying it's not going to happen at all, so there. Give me some odds.
$20 right now. Well, that's what we'll do. They're not going to trade. They're not going to trade their first round 9th pick. Now they may trade like their 2nd and 3rd or whatever, but
no, their first round. I think
nope, they won't. Nope. There we go, Mike.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers is going?
I think he's going to New York.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, I see everybody putting on Facebook, well, Mike Wingo said, no, that was not accurate. Now, he's likely going to end up a Jet. But, no, he kind of jumped the gun on that one. I can't tell you how many posts I've seen from people. It's official. No, it isn't.
Well, I am willing to bet, though, that he's not going to end up a Viking next year like Favre did. So,
yeah, right.
People talk about that. It's like, no, thank you.
And then the Vikings grab him. Yeah.
That's 100% right. All righty. Well, last thing. Thanks so much, by the way, Mike, for coming on. Coming up this week, Fitzy?
I don't know. I don't think we're just going to make sure we make it through St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
That's about it. Just be safe out there for St. Patrick's Day and enjoy our local businesses and all the deals that they have. Just have a plan.
And go Spooner Health and Mike Schafer. And blah, blah, blah. Mike, what about you?
Just another week. I mentioned earlier, Lumberjack hockey game Wednesday night. Love having fans out, and by early next week they should be playing playoff games here. So.
Wow,
sweet,
that's awesome. All right, cool. Well, thank you very much. I think that's it, guys.
Awesome.
For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. This locally owned business has provided quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business for the last, 20 years? Yeah, 20 years. I should have this all memorized by now. Like Fitzy and I, they believe that it's the little things that make a big difference. Give Brian a call today, but maybe not today or this week. Right? He's on vacation, he said?
Tomorrow.
Well, call him later. 715-520-2271. Special thank you to Spooner Health CEO Mike Schafer for blessing us with his presence today. I think we've met our contractual obligation as an advertiser to have you on for the year. So we're finished. We got out of the way. Fitzy and I will be back next week. So until then, thank you for watching, and as always, have a blessed day.